Hey everyone, hello all, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me on this stream for the level design lobby. I hope you can all hear me okay. If there's any technical issues, just drop me a message and let me know. I got my hat on because I'm absolutely freezing. It's that time of year where Poland starts to get really, really cold, and I am not someone who does well with the cold. I've been away for the weekend, so I'm about to say my hotel. I guess it feels like that because I've barely been here for the year. But my apartment is absolutely freezing, so it's not a style or fashion statement. It's because I'm genuinely cold and had to had to like warm my hands and head up. Chrome Soul, hype to the max. No, hype to you, my friend. Thank you very much for joining me with this one. So yeah, this one's a bit more prompt to stream, and I think it's going to be a fun one for us because what you can see on the screen right now is my level, which has been the stream focus for probably the last month or so, I guess. And one of the things that we're going to do with this now is I'm going to take the feedback that I've gotten from many awesome people and start to address that, and then you can see and kind of learn from it, because not everything I do is perfect, and there was definitely things that I missed out on, and I'm going to try go through these and just address the feedback as I mentioned earlier. If you do have questions, please do post them. Heads up as well, this is like streaming on multiple areas, so you may not see some of the questions, but I will try read them out for everyone. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, I believe. So yeah, that's where we're going to be going through. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to go through there. Like I say, if you've got questions, just ask. So I got feedback recently from my friend Scoop. Scoop is obviously one of my mentors in the industry. He still is, the technical level design director at Ubisoft Reflections. Worked in the industry for I think 15 years or something. The guy's old, really old. I'm completely pulling his leg. But yeah, so he's given me time of day to give me feedback on this, and we'll talk about the feedback from it. one of the big things from this, and again, this is for us all to learn. Like I said, I'm not perfect, so I think this is why I decided to do this stream, because I didn't know if I was going to do the feedback or not, just down to time and everything. I've got a new level that I'm going to do, and I'm going to stream with you all again. However, I think one of the things that I want to kind of do is kind of take some time to address this, because part of the, in a previous episode, I mentioned that iteration is just so important, and it's such a big part of level design. And I don't feel it's talked about enough. So what better way to kind of say that I want people to know more about it than to show you? You've seen my iteration as time's gone on this level, but it doesn't mean it's done. Okay, now that we've kind of got the wish-wash kind of introduction done and out of the way, let's go into kind of talking a bit more about what the feedback was. So the feedback, one of the biggest bits of feedback, Jack Jake, hello to you, Sir 08 instead of 07. So nice to have you here, mate. One of the big things that I definitely missed out upon was selling the narrative of this space. And this was just down to, this original task for this was just me creating 2D maps. That was the plan. I was meant to just do 2D maps just so I could get more in the habit and get better at doing 2D maps and doing this kind of process. But I obviously went further to where we are now, but I didn't sell the narrative enough in this space. Yes, there's bad guys, but why are they here? So I'm going to be selling a bit more on that in this level, trying to sell certain things that, bad guys are here, that, they're here to steal some of the artwork. So we'll show that as well. And kind of go through that is the big thing. That's probably the biggest one, and it should have been thought of a lot sooner in my design process, but I didn't do that. So with that in mind, I think the big thing for me then is to, I say, address this. Now, what should be, and I've sent this article by Michael Barkley before, and it's on, why is it escaping me? nextleveldesign.org. And it's a great article basically about things you should think about when creating, and planning your level. One of that is theme and setting. So obviously I've got the setting of the art gallery. What's the theme? What's the narrative theme? The narrative thread that is tying this space together. So that's one of the big ones. My finger's now here. And the other one was one that I was kind of like disappointed in myself with, because I should have got this one a lot sooner. And I just think I just didn't give it enough thought process and enough time of day that I should have. And that was the wow moment. Now, there always needs to be, let me rephrase this. One designer I know who just taught me a lot, and I do think it was really important for what he said, is he goes, always push the crazy. And sell that. What is the crazy that we're trying to sell? What is the thing that makes your level remembered and most memorable? Right now, this is a solid level, but it's not that memorable. Robinson, hello, mate. And that's what I need to think about. In the last stream, I talked about what I could have done. One of the things better was research different kinds of, different, why am I blanking on this one? Different kind of art galleries in terms of exhibitions. That's the word I was looking for. Different exhibitions that are available that people can go see, because there's some amazing and crazy ones out there. So why didn't I take more time and research that? I just went for something a bit more bog standard, and that's probably one of the areas that I've gone wrong. So, there's something that I need to go through and we'll be addressing. So the two main things that I'll be going through is one, selling narrative, think about how we can do this, and then selling that wow moment. Now, because this is a personal project, this is fine in terms of timeline. But what I want you to take away from learning from my mistakes is that I want you to, when you're planning your level, think about that. Think about the wow moment and how to sell the narrative. Now, normally what I would do when I'm, say, at work is that I would actually build a space like this. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to go through in a second. But I'm going to destroy some of this stuff here. And take some of these paintings off the wall. Maybe I try to put them in like a bag or inside a box or a container to sell, that these people are here to steal that. So what I normally do is I do normally create a perfect version of the space. That's just what I like to do. The reason being is one of the things that you should think about when you're blocking out your level is how do people interact with this level before you've come in here and you've decided to go to be the level that you're interacting with. So with that, I normally try to build something that is pristine so I can imagine how the space would actually be used, and then I come through and add my narratives. But I didn't do that this time. So again, learn from that mistake, people. So Chrome Soul says, I love that concept. Every level should have something that people remember. Yes, mate. And it can be just, it doesn't need to be the big explosions like a Call of Duty level, because Call of Duty levels are so memorable and they have that kind of Michael Bay effect. I think they do some phenomenal work. And what I think about other things is it doesn't necessarily need to be that. It can be other things that make it memorable in terms of a heroic piece, maybe a certain like architectural things. Like for me, this here will be slightly memorable because the fact that we see it once already and then we see it, and it's a nice little way to go under it. So that's one thing. Another thing that you can do is just maybe like a tense moment. There's a moment in Metal Gear Solid 2 where, for example, you're on the oil rig, and there is a guard above you who is taking a piss, urinating, I should say. I don't want to swear that much on the streams anymore. And you can fall over on it as well as you could fall over on bird poop as well. And that's memorable because it's a small little thing like that. So things like this can be something that comes true and to help make it memorable. It could be a really tense moment where you're trying to stealth inside and there's a guard that like just cuts in front of you and you freeze for a second because that bite of tension is just so high. So yeah, that's a thing. So it doesn't always have to be something exploding and something like crazy, but that's what we're going to do for this level. But I just want to keep you in the know for that. Jack Jake says, so narrative must come first. I think so. And when I say narrative must come first, think about it more in the sense not of like it's the most important thing. Depending where you work, where I currently work, narrative is king is the slogan. And that's not in any bad way to any of the teams. It's just what helps make the game so memorable. And for this one, though, I think the most important thing with narrative is it's something that you're thinking about. It's about selling the story because you're working with narrative designers, mission designers, and kind of like making sure that everything links together. Your level is a beat in the overall mission. So thinking about how that works with it, I think is super important. So for me, I didn't think about that enough. It was just, and I was just making a small combat area in a short period of time. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's something I've done that's done. But now we've got a bit more time. How can I sell that? How can I make that better? So that's what's kind of going with this here. So I'm going to be going through a few things and try to sell the narrative first and then go into the wow moment next. But you do need to keep it in mind there, Jack, is that it has to be something that you think about and plot about. Now, we'll go through, because I'm going to do a bit more of a detailed document for the next level that I'm going to do. And as soon as I say that, I instantly regret it, only because time is of the essence and it's not long for the year ends. And I ideally would like to get, maybe not necessarily finished, but maybe, in progress before the year is out and done with it. So I've got not much time. But we're going to address this here, and this is the most important thing here. Does anyone have any questions before I move forward and start messing around with the layout? Feel free to talk about them, add them, and I'll answer them as much as I can. Okay, I'm going to start messing around. If you've got questions, just shout them out. I'll be looking through. So the first thing that I'm going to sell with the space then is that it's basically an armed robbery, that people have come in here to steal paintings and to cause mischief in terms of it's a heist for this. So what we're going to do, and like it's a common thing here to make you not feel guilty about going in guns blazing and shooting people instead of asking questions in video games, is you make the bad guys even badder. So for example, to make John Wick's a great example. John Wick is phenomenal films. I love them. I think it's just a great action, you know, choreography, you know, gun fu as it was nicknamed. But what I love with that is that John Wick is not a good guy. John Wick is a retired hitman, probably done some awful stuff. But to make it seem like the baddies he is after, sorry, to kill, you need to make them worse. So what do? They kill a dog. I mean, there's nothing more evil. So many people, for some reason, we as humans are more connected and more care for animals than we do for our own kind. Very strange. But that's just one quick way that you can make someone seem more evil. So for me, we're going to go along that line, but not necessarily dogs, but we're going to have some corpses, some sort of hint that there's blood and stuff. You know, Jack J goes, we care more for an animal death than a human one. It's true, like, it's crazy. I mean, that's part of the reason why, you know, there's that joke online with Uncharted where Nathan Drake is just a complete psychopath or sociopath because he's so lovable, but yet goes on this massive killing spree. But it's about selling that again because you root for Nathan, and the writers on Naughty Dog, you know, like if anyone hasn't figured out by now, I'm a huge Naughty Dog fanboy, and just the writing and all of that to help sell that Nathan is the good guy is done so well. So yeah. All right then, people, I'm gonna crack on. For those of you also who may not be a part of the Patreon, quick heads up. We are going to be, let's actually make a new game object, create empty. What we're going to be doing at the end of this week, it is the level design weekend. So if you go to the Patreon, patreon.com/level design lobby, and sign up for the $10 perk, we're going to be creating a small level at the end of this week, so Friday, and we're going to make a small level, which we've done this, I think, for 2 years now, and then I will be reviewing your work and giving you feedback. So if you're looking for, you know, creating your own levels and looking to build up your portfolio, then do think about joining online, because that way we'll be able to build up your portfolio and you'll be getting feedback from myself. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like to keep things organized. I think that's a big thing that might not always be sold as well, is that you should keep this organized. One of the reasons being so much for this is the fact that if someone is, you know, say I hand this level off to one of you in the chat and they're like, you know, Max is away, he's ill, he's on holiday, but there's feedback we've got and we need you to change this while he's away. Okay, no worries. You can instantly go in here and then know, okay, this is where the floor is, this is where the walls are, you know, all of these things here that you can go through and start to, you know, edit yourselves. So I think that is a big thing for it. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're making your levels, peeps, is make sure organization is key here. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is, again, one of the things that this door is good for, but I don't think we fully sold it. I'm going to go this way. With it was the fact that it's that illusion of space, right? There's something more behind this door, but we don't know what. But now if I put some sort of like blood that has leaked through, it's going to make people more curious and wonder what happened behind this door. So this is a thing that, you know, I think is really kind of a nice little moment of building up the world around it, where you start to raise questions. And because this is a safe space already, and, you know, that's a very important thing that we want the player to kind of figure out, take a moment to breathe in. And, you know, there's loot around here. There's a little shot here where you can actually see down and see some enemies on the patrols here. So we can go through and kind of sell that. So yeah, adding it to here, I think it's a nice one. So Chrome Soul asks, do you find that's always the case in scenes professionally? I find that slips me more than I'd like. Yes, honestly, I think you should be, like, have I made mistakes and not always lined things correctly? Yes, but that's not how it should be, and I've had to go back and change things for this, only just because of the fact that, let's call this blood puddle. it shouldn't be like that. Do make sure that you make a good habit. Like that was one of my. Let me actually just make a prefab out of this. That was one of my goals when making this. Can you hear me all right? Is the microphone okay? I do sometimes worry about it. But one of the things I wanted to do was make sure that organization was proper in this, because if I had to hand this off to someone, I wanted it to be clear. So that was one of my own personal goals when I was making this. So yeah, that is for sure one of the things there. So if we just create. All right, cool. So yeah, that's why I've made a lot of prefabs. That's why I do this. So do get yourselves into a good habit here, people. Like make sure that is a very, very good one for you all to get, right? I think that's very important. So yeah, do get into that habit. And I said that was one of the things that I wanted to do. Okay. Right. So we've got that there. What else can we do? Actually, no. If we do, I'm trying to remember hotkeys here, using different editors really messes with your old brain. So if we start to show that things are being destroyed as well, that can help sell, you know, whether or not the player sees this. Because ideally, I would still want the player to come over here. So I need to think about how do I do this. So we try with leading lines here. I don't mind because this has more negative space, right? You know, the fact that there is more open space, sometimes that draws the eye much more than when a space is cluttered. But one of the things that we notice is when you kind of align the door versus the table here, you can't see my other hand, I'm going to scoot over here, wrong way, scoot back over. Okay, so when we can see with the alignment, these are not 50-50. As you can see, this comes before this. The reason that I've offset this bit more is because this is leading to your goal. Because I have this framed with the pillars and from these up here, creating a frame for this, and this now pulled further back and more negative space here, that is a way for me to try counteract and pull the player in this direction versus over here. Now with this, the fact that I am now going to pull this and kind of almost make it look like, one, there's a path here, that's clear, but also that line is pulling you over in that direction. I'm going to experiment when we jump into the game because maybe you don't see it instantly right away. But that way, again, we're trying to push you more to here because this view is a nice view and it's important that I want the player to see this. Now, I've also added loot here. The reason being is, again, pushes you and pulls you in this direction. So you're like, oh, okay, what's that? And then you see that there. So that way I'm kind of breadcrumbing towards that space. That's what we're going with. Okay. So we've got that there. Okay, let's have a think. Okay. Maybe we can go over here. Alright. So we have that a bit more askew. I might come back to that later because I don't like. Because ideally I would prefer to tilt it this way, but that doesn't make any sense with it. What is everyone playing, by the way? I haven't got a chance to play Star Wars just yet, but I hear good things. Is anyone playing it? I think that would be on my to-do list. Death Stranding is on my to-do list. I'm very fortunate I got a free copy of the game. I haven't had a chance to play it because I'm refusing to play it. No Death Stranding spoilers, please. Please. I'm dying to play it, but I want to finish Metal Gear Solid 5 first before I get onto it. And sadly, like I said, time's not really on my side for that. Okay, that was better. Oh, mate, I can see it's in your temptation to do it. Why is there a hole here? How did I not notice this hole, people? Okay. Let's get a floor piece for this. Where's the roof? Let's get a visual of the roof then. with that. Okay, I'm glad I started you with the rant there, mate. It's like I said, it's on my to-do list. What actually we're going to do as well? Edit snap settings. These are important for you to use as well. Just sticking with grid can help, and it'll also help with you when you're working with your artists as well. And if you haven't seen the episode yet, I did do a good one where I talk about level design and environment art working together. So do check it out. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what why is Facebook giving me notifications? I would be interested about seeing how everything kind of comes together in terms of Death Stranding, because I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan. You know, Metal Gear Solid 1 is what got me inspired to make games. So I think there's, you know, a lot that I'm very curious on myself on it. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. Okay, what you're going to see me do here, I don't recommend doing because everything should be to grid, but clearly something's gone awry. But that's okay because we're just going to extend that out. Okay, but no one saw anything. That's perfectly placed thing there. Okay. All right. I thought about something. I'm quite interested in where we go with that. Okay. Let's focus a bit more. Okay. Right. Let's just say that there. Next, let's skew this. Make it look like, again, some struggle, sell that. And what I'm going to do with this one is bring that down here. So again, we can already see now, just by moving these props around, that there is a bit more of a narrative. It looks like there was a fight here compared to what it was like previously. So again, selling what's going on. So yeah, that's what we're going with right now here. Hold those thoughts there, Jack, my friend, because what I want to do is after I've set this space up, I'm going to ask you all to kind of give me your thoughts on it, because again, there may be a way that I kind of view it, but it's all, you know, down to you amazing people to see with what we're going on. I might put some music on. Are people okay with this? Just something in the background. Are we okay with it? I don't know if this actually causes issue for streaming. But let's try it for a couple of minutes. And let me stick on what I had before, just a little. Okay, that's better. There we go. Okay. Now we've done that, what I want to do is again pull. Let's not everything, and I want to make this clear as well. It's this one. Not everything needs to be destroyed. I don't need to go over the top. You know what I mean? It's not about going through and make it look like a complete mess, because that's not how it would always go down. Now, is the music too loud and is it distracting? Again, just let me know, peeps, and we'll go through it. So the next point is I'm going to add, to try bring some more kind of eyes over here, is I'm going to add some little blood and then a corpse over here. So the loot has some context, because it could be just loot that we find on the body, as well as, again, drawing the player over here. So what we're going to do as well, because this is going to be the interesting part. Okay. Okay, that's better as well. Now you can see from where it was as well, that has a more open space as well, which we talked about earlier in terms of how negative space draws it in. So if there's a clearer and more open path, people are more drawn to it. Does that match our metrics though? No, let's just move this over by a couple centimeters. There we go. That's better now. Just because that matches our metrics. The minimum amount that I can use here is 2 meters in terms of how close things should be. But that's for non-combat spaces. Derek asks, is this Maya? No, mate, this is Unity. I've done this all in Unity. What I'm using for this is, though, I'm using, why is this escaping me? Blockout, which is free on Unity, as well as third-person cover, which we have for our character here, as well as the enemies in this space as well. So that's what I'm using with all of that stuff. Okay, now with that said, we'll go back to our little, let's duplicate you. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I think, you know, Epic is starting to really get a catch up on, is their market, because Unity has so much stuff. I mean, I'm a sucker because I must have bought loads of stuff from Unity, but Unreal is still an amazing piece of kit. That's not me saying which is better. It's about what you make for it. But I will say that Unity obviously has a more, I guess, a more utilized store because of the fact it's had it for so long, you know. Who's the name of? You guys got me thinking. But there's someone who's a huge fan of their work. They do all these two of them actually. One I want to grab for the show, and the other one I don't know if I'll be able to grab. But they do some amazing art and stuff, which is great. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Yeah. Oh, I mean, Jack, mate, like, there is no right or wrong answer. I think that's one of the saddest things. Not sad. I don't mean sad as in pathetic. I mean sad when, like, people instantly ask the question of which should I use, Unity or Unreal. It's what you're more comfortable with. And I get why we said that. I think I would have said it at a younger age too. Like, and I think it's, you know, really cool to see what more people are doing with both. So as long as you're whichever you're comfortable with, I think, you know, it's about what you make, not what tech you use. So with it. Toxic CC says, I'm new to this stream. What type of games is this level design designed for? So this here, mate, is designed for a third-person cover shooter. So I'll just give a quick example. Many people already joining and kind of already seen this, but for you, mate, and for other new people, you can kind of get a sight for it. So thank you for joining as well to the stream, mate, and I'm glad that you've asked questions. If you have more, keep them coming. So you can see I've got the cover here, working through, and then come down. I have got some AI, I've turned them off, but again, we can come through, move throughout the spaces, this sort of thing. So that's kind of what it's for with it in mind there, mate. So that's how it's kind of going to be built with it in mind. I've done many different types of games, but the most big, obviously, third-person shooter, cover shooter was that of The Division that I worked on. If you don't know much about my background, Toxie, and Division 1 was what I worked on, as well as DLC. I'm now working on other projects. You can check out my portfolio, which is maxpairs.com, and you can see what I'm working on there, mate. So yeah, just doing this for some fun, to help demonstrate and to help teach other people who are interested in level design, and also get better myself. I do not know everything. I'm not the best level designer in the world. I'm trying to get better. So I hope it all helps is what I'm saying, my friend. Okay. Yeah, anyone else got any questions? Okay. Kind of put some there. Also, this is super powerful in terms of narrative, right? I'm really trying to sell the story to make players know that they're going to be, you know, facing some kind of dangerous stuff in this space, right? you don't have to, you can be far more subtle than what I am doing. This here is just, again, me really dialing it up to 11. I'm not going to say to the max because that's corny because of me. But this way, they're kind of aware. They see things aren't quite right. They see the blood. We have some ammo, an ammo pickup here. I'm very proud of that ammo logo, which I did as well. Just going to let you know. But we do that again to sell them. Okay, there's ammo here. You know, that traditional sense of what Mega Man did with always the boss rooms. You know, you find loads of ammo and health before fighting a boss. Again, we hint that. What I should actually do is rotate that, though. If you're coming in at this angle, we want to kind of sell that there with it too. And also, that contrast of red over there is really kind of pulling players as well. We're going to do some stuff with this in a second. So yeah, that's one of the things that you got to keep in mind. Let's look now. If I turn on one of the things that I want to work on is the AI themselves, because the fact that these are still kind of, what you're seeing with the AI is kind of, I don't want to say, it's not simple because this stuff is great, but it's not like got some sort of presets for you to use. So you have to kind of build it on the scratch of it, which again is fine because I'm learning about the kit. But just keep in mind, if you do see AI, it's very basic. I'm still learning how to use this type of AI, but it is, again, some great stuff. And I do really like the people, well, what the people have created. I think they call it like Red Bumble or something when they've created this kit. So we've got Arc8_GD. Can you recommend a good third-person? Oh, well, dude, no, we're just going through it right now, my friend. Yes, the one that I'm using right now is the third-person cover shooter here, mate. You can't see it because my face is blocked. Can I just move me for a second? It is this right here, third-person cover shooter. I don't know if it's on sale right now. Just hide my face down here again. I don't know if it's on sale right now, but it's about, I think it's about £60, 60 euros. And you get all these AI around here. You get the user character, other character models, stuff that you can actually attach to if you buy different characters for it. So you get all of that, and I think I'll be showing you some stuff very soon anyway, because I need to find this character in it. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to have our character line up here. Enemies, what is this? FBX. That's model. So, can we change your color, please? We can do so, but for some reason that's all messed up. So, no worries, mate. No problem. It's one that I'll be using for future kind of developments as well. So, I'm getting to know it a bit more and what have you. So, if we go with, let me just create. Where is it? And we just change this to a light blue. Okay. And we just, why are you? There we go. So that way, I could make it maybe a brown or something, so it's not all that beautiful. I think what I'm just trying to separate is the fact that this character is not an enemy, you know? Not only is it drowned in its blood, but it's not an enemy for sure with what we're seeing right now. Ideally, what I'd actually like, because the character is T-posed right now, is I'd actually like them sitting on the kind of desk, you know, kind of back along here, kind of hunched. So that way we could put this down here and stuff. So make it a bit more fitting with the scene, I think would be a nicer one than how I've currently got it. So if we're just going to go... Maybe we actually just make it brown. No, that kind of blends in. Let's use it for blue now. Okay, let's just leave it for blue for now. I'm getting way too kind of thoughty on that. Dragoo, my friend, what is going on is we're now looking at my level and we're now going through some of the feedback. One of the things, for those who just joined us as well, is what my level was lacking was narrative as well as kind of a wow moment. So right now we're going through the narrative, selling what is going on, why there is enemies here that, you know, we should be concerned. So that's what's going on at this very moment in time, mate. So we're addressing the narrative issues and trying to sell that more within the level. So I'm super excited. Also, for those of you who don't know, do give a thanks to Simon Cooper Scoop, the one who gave the feedback, who gave me the task. We did a great episode together. He is just a great guy, and he's taken so much time out of his day to help me, even though we no longer work together, to help me get better. So I do appreciate him so much. Jack goes, I always have the issue with that in tense moments where a friendly NPC, and it will give me a heart, where a friendly NPC... What do you mean by that, Jack? I don't know if I understand where you see... Oh, sorry, I get what you're saying now, where, yeah, you accidentally mismatch your friendly versus an enemy. Yeah, I think Silhouette's character design has to really play a huge part into that, obviously. You know, they're very much, you know, having to make sure that the silhouettes are very different, you know, so that the player does not mistake that. I think that's one of the big things for it, you know. Yeah. Okay, that's a nice kind of one down there. Maybe we put a little bit... I'm going to put a little blood splatter there. I think will be a nice one. Or maybe we just do some small, like, bullet holes, which I think would be a good one for it. No worries, Dragoo, my friend. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that obviously going on. I'm trying to make sure that I still release episodes about... What is it? Make sure that we've got everything in groups, actually, before we do anything. You know, make sure I release episodes 3 times a month. A new one is dropping tomorrow, and that's with an amazing guest and a phenomenal designer, joined by Celia Hoden, who is brilliant. She was the lead UX designer on Fortnite, before that working at Ubisoft and other studios as well, and now she's freelancing. She's a phenomenal mind, and I'm a huge fan of her work. And we just keep missing each other at conferences, even though we've both been to multiple conferences. But yeah, she's phenomenal. Her book, Getting Gamers, is already out. I do recommend checking out. It helped me gain some stuff. So yeah, do have a look at that. I'm excited for that to come out because we've been planning to collaborate for so long, and we've just kept missing each other. We even missed each other when we were on a holiday. Like, she was in Iceland, and then I was going to that place, to Iceland, and yeah, it was just a mishap. But yeah, I think she's heavily involved with the GDC side of UX, because she keeps trying to make sure that I go. So I will be going, hopefully, to GDX. Well, that's the wrong thing. At some point in the coming years, with it as well. Another thing as well, peeps. I don't know. I'll just bring this up as another shameless kind of plug. For those of you who do want to get better, I have created 4 talks in total about level design. Obviously, I'll be doing more as my career goes on. But I'll just quickly show these. I've got a few that are there for people to check out. If you go join the silver tier on the Patreon, which is $25 a month, and that gives you access to the level design library. Well, not only do you have 4 talks from myself, for example, one is about crafting level design for combat, but also from other great designers as well who've done some phenomenal talks as well. I think there's about 9 talks in total already in the first. Yeah, between 7 to 9 talks in total in the first year, and you know there'll be more going as time comes on. So if you do want to check out, obviously, these talks as time goes on, do think about heading that up. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff there with it, peeps. Okay, now we need to get you. What we want to do here, this is going to be a little bit too big. Also, this should be something you should think about. I have a lot of time to do this right now. Probably not a lot, but like time to come through and be like, oh yeah, bullet holes, right? You wouldn't really be placing that. You can place a few as long as it's quick. But obviously, in a real production, time is very much of the essence. So, you know, do be careful. Don't think you get as much time as maybe I am demonstrating right now. That looks way too, looks way too kind of perfect. With that. So yeah, but that's something, again, just to think about. I am just kind of throwing stuff around here for it just to sell a bit more on these spaces. If you haven't seen the level already, I do have a video on the YouTube channel of me just walking through the space prior to me addressing the feedback. Also, just a quick shout out to who was it at the time? Thomas Cool. I think I'm saying it wrong. Cool. Thomas Cool. Why did I not get that right? But he took the time to give me some feedback on my level as well. So yeah, just thank you to him and to other people obviously giving me feedback, because that's how all this stuff gets better. That's more like it. And we just do stuff like that here. That more makes it look like bullet marks here, and then we just put some blood. Not go too heavy with it. On this one here. So why am I doing that one? With it. Hold on. So I'm gonna do it like here. Also, this here, as you can see, is like, you know, storytelling in itself, right? And one of the best things I think about video games is that we can have kind of different interpretations of the same scenarios. Like, was this a receptionist, or was this someone who tried to cross the bad guys? I think that's one of the most exciting things with, you know, interactive storytelling with it. So let's just get boom. Okay. If people don't know what's that, maybe that's just ketchup. We have no idea. But yeah, I think That's gone into a tad too much detail than I should have done over there, but it's selling that story to you all peeps. So Jack asks, how do level designers in professional setting organize their work in a group, or is it like every person gets something to focus on? Yeah, so when you're asking about organized, do you mean in terms of organization of this here? In terms of, you know, folders and that? Because this here should kind of be set out. This will either be set out by a senior, maybe a technical designer. All of this will be set up as in given the heads up. Oh, cylinders. Let's just drag you all into narrative objects. So that then we all can, you know, follow this kind of guideline. Because if people all do it by themselves, some don't even do it in organization, which is a very bad thing. But you weren't talking about that. You mean more in levels. Dragu answers with that work. I had an issue where me and the other guy were doing level design, and our levels didn't look pretty different stylistically. So with this one, mate, it's about communication, and you kind of have, for a while, that's going to be how it will go for a little bit, just in terms of while things are getting set up, you know, what's the core pillars of it, you know, what mechanics are available, and once you kind of get a design from your gameplay, how those work, that's when you'll start building up rules and regulations. Now, you will then work on what is often referred to as a vertical slice. And this helps the team understand what's kind of the ideal level. Vertical slices generally aren't released to the public. They're more for internal, so that you can kind of use them to help you and your team understand what's kind of the ideal level. What should an end product level look like? And that's, you know, what you kind of do to help make sure that there isn't any miscommunications. Camera level design. I guess it's important for the leads to keep an eye on. Yes, that's another good point, Cameron. You'll be having reviews constantly. And that's a big thing as well, is making sure that everyone is on that. But you'll, again, only get that from experimenting and twisting around with things. So yeah, that'll come. Yeah, yes, Dragon. It's definitely can be a little bit of pain here and there. Okay, now that we kind of have a bit selling more of the narrative side, I'm quite happy with this actually. We'll push that there. Is that I think what I'm going to do with an art exhibition is, I want some more like kind of destruction matrix style, you know, where the walls kind of get destroyed when they go to save Morpheus. But what I'd like to do is maybe I've seen some exhibitions with like over the top prefectures. So maybe what we can do to help sell that more, because we have this nice kind of, and maybe that's the core mechanic of this level. I've talked about wow moments and making this memorable. But what actually might be nice is having a core mechanic to base that around. So for example, because we've got these hanging down, what would be nice is maybe if the player shot these, when they came down, they'd be kind of like mini explosions, or when they go down, they electrocute people that are under them, so it gives the player advantage. So I think what we can do to teach the player is we've got these hanging above it. So what we'll do is we'll make this one slightly hang kind of lower, so it's disconnected from this string here, and that, what actually might be even better for this is we have them both hanging. So we shoot this one out, and then this one kind of slouches a bit more, right? But if we shoot these one out, maybe this swings into the door here, knocking it through, which gives then loot for player to one see in here, but also it's helping to teach the player the mechanic, because we have them swinging and swaying, then this can kind of, again, teach them that when they come down here, that they can use this to destroy and kill enemies. Boom. I'm quite happy with that idea, folks. Quite happy with that idea. Okay. Let's do that. I'm quite excited with that one. Okay. Anyone got any more questions? I will be going through and tweaking more of the narrative stuff here. I'll be knocking this over. What I'm going to do is try have them bagging some of this stuff up as well. Actually, I need all of your opinions here. For all of you watching, this is going to be an important part for you to help me here. Old Siren says hello. Hello to you. Okay. Old Siren, you're in good timing here, my friend. So what I would like for all of you right now is to tell me, if we started the level from here, where are you more attracted to go? The left or the right? Obviously, you're more attracted to go in the middle right now, but if in terms of exploration, where would you more go? Just write down which you prefer to go, left or right. Thank you, Old Siren. You've come in at a good point because you've not seen any of the decorations right now, so I like that. Okay. Other my friends, what are we thinking? Right or left? I think that also the camera being on the right helps as well, because you've got the character himself kind of occupying this space. So, okay. Oh, Dave! Nice to see you, friend. We got David Sark, my man, or Saki man, joining us. Thank you very much. It was good to hear from you, buddy. I hope you're all well, man. Sweden, right? Yes, no. That's what I want. Because what I'm going to say we're going to do next then is when we have this hanging down slightly, we can shoot this so that kind of comes down. And then when we have this hanging as well, if we shoot, for example, this and this, then this swings and we knock into that door, opening it for the people as well in here. So we're building on that mechanic. I'm really excited by this mechanic now. But yeah. All right. Cool. I really appreciate everyone's answer. Thank you very much. Because this, again, making sure that we're all kind of seeing what's going on. Just give me a second. I thought I heard my phone go off, so hold on a second. There's my brother actually calling me right now. I will get back to my brother in a second. Robson, you beautiful man. That is a very valid point, because we've got some loot here. So your curiosity would be rewarded, my friend. Okay. Next with this. If you do want to make sure anyone else wants to join the chat, please do share this, because I think it's super duper important. Because again, I'm just trying to share as much about level design as I can. And so yeah, let's go through that, peeps, you know, and let's make sure that we share on it. Right. We need to start to kind of lower this one now. Okay. So what we're going to do then, I'm so happy I didn't connect these to the art statue. So what we'll do is if we slightly rotate that here. Okay, this slightly obscures the view a little bit, but that's fine. Ideally, what we'd be doing to help... Thank you very much, my friend. You always gotta hack that computer terminal, Dave. Dave says you've got to hack the computer terminal. Yeah, one of the things to help draw the eye, because everything's static right now, like, I'm not going to make this swing actually happen. I might have a try because I've got Plane Maker, so I might give it a whirl. Not now. We're not doing it now. But one of the things that would help do this is we'd help swing. Because we have this skylight here, what we might do is have part of it open, so there'd be a breeze coming through. So that would rock them, right? Damn right you're a programmer. And I got you, my friend. Thank you all for joining on this one. So Yeah, I'd have it swinging to kind of draw the eye. Swing this as well. And that's one of the way. I don't know if it would be enough to grab the player's attention. That's something we'd have to test and go through and iterate on. But I think that would be really nice. Okay, we're going to put something in there. Maybe like a small cafeteria or something. We'll think about that. But I like this. Yes, that'd be exactly how it goes, Jack, my friend. We have that swinging across. That one looks a bit more, and especially if we have it moving kind of like that way. So like you can see if this was moving like this, that kind of signifies the momentum of where it would go with it. So yeah, I think that'd be a good one for it. Let me just, if we actually shorten this just a little bit, and then oh, why are you embarrassing me like this? Kind of align this with the top. I'm actually going to make that a different color now. And we're going to make this, oh, there's green already there, so I don't want to eat into that. Let's make them gold, so that way it kind of goes with it as well. So it's a brighter color to get them with. Okay, to draw that attention. Maybe we make this purple actually, because I don't want gold to match, because we use that a little later as well. Yeah, let's just make a new one now actually. Make that so it's more for my interactions. Okay. Let's... Don't make it pink. Me and a friend had a talk about Manuel, who I've mentioned multiple times on this stream. We had a debate about this, nothing heated, and he raised a good point, is there's a common color when something is like outdated normally, in terms of props or devices. In terms of device, I mean gameplay mechanics or gameplay props in editors, when you're having to remove things, and that's normally bright pink. So don't do that, because sometimes that to other people can look like an error that something is wrong if it's bright pink. I don't think purple's the right color. I just don't think it is. I don't know. Maybe that purple's better. Let's just stick with purple for now, and we can go for that one. Yeah, missing a texture. What kind of texture do we actually have to kind of go with it? Well, that didn't change a damn thing. That's not changing it enough. I think because it's going to be so thin on these, it's going to be hard to... Hard to tell. Let's... If we bring that up... Maybe that's slightly better. We'll go with that. Yeah. We'll still have a mess around with that one, but I think right now I just need a color just to highlight the use for a gameplay mechanic. I think that's one of the big things for it. You know, we can focus a bit more on it as well there. So yeah. Cool. Okay, once. Yeah, I think what I want to do with that's, yeah, so we move this one here. Maybe we do this. No, let's kind of keep that there. So yeah, okay, I think that's all right. And if we come down and add these kind of here and go through. So again, we'd have that kind of same visual kind of aid for the player so that they can see that they match here. Okay, cool. I'm quite excited by that. I think that's a nice kind of moment. Already we're talking about memorable moments, and I think that's a good set. You know, nothing perfect, but it's definitely much better now than what it was before. All right, do you in green and yellow? Yeah. So yeah, depending on where you work and stuff, you have different kind of colors that mean errors. Old Siren says we also have one for errors and stuff where it is green and yellow. So yeah, it's kind of figuring that out per team and place. But for me, it's generally been pink thus far. So yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. The level is starting to have a bit more personality and starting to shape together. You know, I think this was kind of like an L1. Now this is kind of looking more L2 style for it. How long have we been streaming for now, peeps? I'm normally not great with long streams, but we'll crack on still. Well, actually, what I might do is I might take a break for half an hour and then come back, but we'll see in a few minutes. Brian asks, are you trying to get players to look through the window to the downstairs for enemies? So yeah, Brian, when I'm doing this right now, mate, that's kind of what I want, is I want it kind of foreshadowing. So you will see some of the enemy patrols around here. You won't see all of them, but you'll see a bit, kind of warning the players if they look, as well as seeing this, kind of foreshadowing what's going to happen. So that way when the players make themselves down and around here, they already get that sense and kind of can make that mental map of where they are versus where they've been. And that's kind of what that's trying to help with as well. And if you've just joined, mate, we're kind of saying that the core mechanic for it, is going to be shooting these things down. So we've got enemies, these two will walk around here, can shoot them down and take down enemies as well. So yeah, that's what this window is helping for. You might have missed it then, mate, so I'll just put it on play. Just with some of the narrative stuff that I've just done, I am going to be trying to attract people more this way. So if that was your starting one, hold on a second. I'm sorry, people, I don't want messages there getting read with it, but yeah, so we're trying to bring them more here. So we think it works right now because we've got the blood trail, some bullet holes, the window itself. Obviously, this is positioned. My God, I don't even have Facebook open, so I do apologize. Hold on, let's just turn these settings off. There we go. Sorry, people. Just, yeah, don't want people looking at that stuff. Also, we're on stream. Let's, try to keep it all there. So yeah, when I say all there, I mean me focused on the stream is what I'm referring to. So yeah, we're trying to pull them in a lot more on the right. So I think it's working right now. I'm not saying it can't be improved. So yeah, that's what you can kind of see. And you can see that enemy there. We can see them when we're looking as well. So the player can kind of get a sense of seeing this space as well, which is a nice thing. Foreshadowing, I think it's cool. And what I like, and one of the things that I do recommend when it comes to combat encounters, is the fact that I did... Right. Also, one of the things I've noticed right now, people, is these still have collision on them. So I need to update the prefab so that doesn't make me go up or down. Yeah, is one of the things that I recommend when you're doing combat is making sure if you do have a decision point of something where you can view enemies, make sure that... All right, mesh renderer, that one's fine. Let's just update that. Where's the update? Really? No, not that yet. Oh, okay, that has updated, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. Is make sure that you hide some of the information. Don't reveal all of it. So we've seen that there's one enemy, so that players can kind of suspect and keep that in mind. But they might not know that in total there are 3 enemies. And that's, again, we kind of slowly reveal more and more information for the player, as well as making them think that they know everything when, more will be revealed on that one. So yeah, cool. I'm liking that stuff. already. Okay. Since my brother did just try call me, I'm going to go call him back. I'll be back in about 30 minutes or so. So I hope you've enjoyed what we've got so far. I'll be back in 30 minutes because there's still stuff I want to do to this level before I end up calling it a night. So yeah, like I said, 30 minutes. I'll be back soon. I hope to see you all there. Create some friends, tell them to join. And if you've got any questions, again, just bring them up. I'm looking forward to hearing from you and continue with this. All right, everyone, I'll catch you after the break then.